They say that in the most extreme places on Earth, the line between reality and something else wears thin. I never believed that, not until I spent 3 months adrift on an ice floe in the Antarctic. My name is Dr. Eris Thorne, and I was the glaciologist on the RV Endurance, a research vessel that, ironically, met a fate similar to its namesake. We were trapped, then crushed, by the pack ice. 10 of us made it onto the ice with 3 lifeboats and what supplies we could salvage. The cold wasn't just a temperature, it was a living entity, a silent predator that seeped into your bones and whispered for you to sleep. The world was a monochrome of blinding white and deep, abysmal blue. The silence was so absolute, it had a weight to it, broken only by the groaning of the ice and the howling of the wind. We were tiny, insignificant specks on a frozen continent that wanted us dead. It was on the 17th day that I first felt it. We were huddled in a makeshift tent, the 5 of us from my lifeboat, trying to warm our hands over a tin of burning seal fat. The mood was lower than the mercury. Rations were dwindling, and Morris, our navigator, had a cough that sounded like gravel in his chest. I was taking a head count, a force of habit, a way to cling to order. Thompson, Evans, Morris, myself. I trailed off. I'd counted 4, but for a split second I had the unshakable feeling there was a 5th shape amongst us, sitting just outside the circle of light. "Forget how to count, Doc," Evans grumbled, his face gaunt. I shook it off. Fatigue, hypothermia setting in. But it kept happening. In the periphery of my vision, I'd catch a glimpse of a 4th parka-clad figure trudging alongside our 3-man sledging team. When we divided up the meager evening meal of pemmican, I'd sometimes feel an irrational urge to prepare a 4th portion, my hands moving almost on their own before I caught myself. The others began to notice it too. We never spoke of it directly, not at first. It was in the glances, the uneasy silences. Thompson, a hardened sailor not given to fancy, once blurted out during a whiteout, "Stay close to me." I was right beside him. He looked at me, his eyes wide with confusion. I thought there was someone else out here, falling behind. The climax came during the worst storm I have ever witnessed. The wind screamed like a banshee, tearing at our tents, threatening to flay us alive. The ice beneath us was shifting violently. We were tied together by a rope, a human chain against the oblivion, crawling on our hands and knees to try and secure the boats. The snow was so thick I could barely see Thompson, who was tied 2 places ahead of me. Suddenly, the ice gave way beneath Morris. He vanished with a cry into a crevasse that had opened up in the chaos. The rope snapped taut, and I was jerked forward, my arms nearly ripped from their sockets. Evans, behind me, shouted, but his voice was stolen by the gale. We were all going to be dragged in. This was it. The Antarctic had finally claimed us. And then I felt it. A tremendous, solid pressure ran the rope between me and the crevasse. It wasn't a pull, it was an anchor. An impossible, immovable force was holding the line. I could feel the strain ease, just enough for Evans and me to dig our heels in and start hauling. We pulled Morris, coughing and terrified, back onto solid ice. He was pale, babbling. "He pulled me up," he gasped. "The other one, he had a grip like iron." We all looked at each other. There was no other one. There were only the 4 of us on that rope. 4. But in that moment of certain death, all 5 of us had felt the presence of a 5th, a 4th man on the ice who had put his weight on the line and saved us. We eventually made it to a whaling station on South Georgia, half dead but alive. We were debriefed. Our story of survival became a minor news item. The official report credited our success to teamwork and endurance. We never mentioned the fifth man to the authorities. It was our secret, a sacred, terrifying knowledge. Back in the world of warm beds and endless noise, the memory of that presence has never left me. I don't know if it was a collective hallucination born of desperation, a trick of the mind in a sensory void, or something else entirely, a guardian spirit of the ice, or perhaps a version of ourselves from a timeline where we didn't make it, reaching back to tip the scales. I only know this. We were 10 men who left that ship, but on the ice, for a little while, we were 11. And the 11th man is the reason I'm here to tell the tale. What do you think about the story? Comment and let me know your thoughts down below.